Hey guys, my name is Tessa and I'm a massage therapist here in Austin, Texas. I actually work at a chiropractic office in South Austin called Lifetime Spines. So look me up if you like this video and you'd like to get a massage from me. Today I'll be working on Mandy, and she has been having some headaches. So there's a lot that goes into working out this kind of issue. And, just basically when you are thinking of headaches, you want to improve circulation in the upper back and also in the head. So with any massage that I do, I always start with the soft tissue and the connective tissue, the fascial tissue. There's a number of ways that you can do this. Today I'm just going to do some effleurage to just work the soft tissue a little bit. And so here's my oil. And one thing I'd like to mention is that when you're doing a massage, you want to focus on your own body. You don't want to get so wrapped up in what you're doing that you're just hunched over and hurting yourself. So just be aware of that when you begin the massage. So right away, I can tell that Mandy's scapula muscles in here around the shoulder blade are tight, as well as her upper trap in here. And the upper trap actually goes all the way up into the neck, all the way up here. And that can definitely cause headaches in and of itself. So I'm just gonna start by just some really slow movements, just working the soft tissue. So something that's really good for the nervous system and also the lymphatic system is moving up towards the heart in whatever you're doing. So I like to focus on that, and we're just going to get into these muscle groups a little bit. And I tend to work pretty slow when I'm doing massages. There's no really right or wrong way. It's just how I like to do it. So right away, I notice myself kind of hunching over, so I'm gonna just be a little more aware of my body too as I work on Mandy. And we're gonna get into a little bit more Swedish massage, just warming up the soft tissue in here. And I'm also getting into the rotator cuff a little bit right here above the arm. Yeah, just warming everything up. I'm going to get into this upper trap in here. Start warming that up a little bit. This levator scapula right in here. And a general rule of thumb, you don't want to, especially if you're wanting to do this for a career, it's important that you keep your hands on your client as much as possible. So again, I'm just going to work on this rotator cuff a little bit, going into this upper trap, just warming everything up. So now I am going to get into Mandy's rhomboids right in here, and there's a really great way to do this and use your energy efficiently. So you can really get in there. Go ahead and oil up your forearms, your elbows. And I know that a lot of people are a little intimidated by using their elbows when they're doing a massage, but once you learn how to, it will help you out so much giving a good massage. So what you want to do is you want to focus on Mandy's spine. You never want to hit the vertebrae in her spine, and you can even just kind of feel so you are more familiar with where everything is. And you're going to place your elbows right along her spine on the muscles right around her spine on the upper back. These are the rhomboid muscles right in here. And you don't want to press too firmly. Just starting to penetrate the deeper layers of tissue without going super deep. So just nice and slow, really getting into those rhomboid muscles. And you can do this motion, 3-4 times, as much as feels necessary. And it's good to communicate with your client, especially if you're doing these massages professionally. So Mandy, how does this feel so far? Can I go a little deeper? All right. So once we've warmed up the upper back, you really want to, again, be aware of your own body and how you're positioning yourself. Using proper body mechanics is really important. So you want to come into a sort of lunge position. So you're not just hunching over, you're really keeping your chest relatively open. So just placing my forearm again right along the spine. So there is a muscle along the spine called the erector, and we're at the very top of that. So just getting into that erector a little bit, continuing on to that rhomboid muscle. And I'm gonna start to get into that upper trap, which is definitely a big part of getting headache. So we're finally starting to get into that upper trap muscle. And when you're doing this forearm and elbow work, you don't want to just dig your elbow in. You really want to use more of your forearm than that elbow, because that elbow can be a little bit sharp. So I'm starting to just get a little bit deeper, and it just takes some time to really get that upper trap muscle to release. So I just like to find a rhythm that feels good, and I don't want to overwork that muscle, but I want to take enough time to really give it a chance to release. So just a few more times. And it's important that you, as a therapist, remember to breathe. I know sometimes I forget. And when you remember to breathe, it helps your client to relax and breathe too. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the other side now. So again, you want to position yourself so that it's comfortable. So just doing that same thing. And I'm not going to spend as much time on this side because we have plenty to do in the neck. So again, just getting into that erector spine, that rhomboid. And again, paying attention to my body, making sure that I feel comfortable. Getting into that rhomboid. And really be aware of that muscle underneath your forearm. Just feel it respond. Not going super deep to start, just starting to get a little deeper. Penetrate that deeper layer of tissue. And just a few more times. And getting even into that levator scapula in there. Upper trap, levator scapula. And this is my favorite way to get into that levator scapula a little bit more. So again, I'm going to come into this squat position. So as a therapist, you want to make sure that you're not rounding your back, so you have even a slight curve in your low back when you're doing something like this. So the more that you can relax as a therapist, the more endurance you're going to have when you're doing massages. So I'm going to place my thumb on Mandy's upper trap right in here, and I'm just going to work my way around and down. So you might feel some crunchy stuff underneath your thumb, and that's actually scar tissue. And just muscle fiber that's really tight. So just working your thumbs around. And so whenever you're using your thumbs doing massage, you never want to let your thumb bend a whole lot. So when you're putting pressure, you want to keep your thumb straight. So really the energy that you're using, it's going through your arms and into your thumb. So it's really dangerous to let your thumb bend like this when you're working, because it really hurts your thumb joint. And it's little things like that that cause burnout in massage therapists. I've been doing this for, 4 years, and just little things like this have allowed me to really have a lot more endurance. So I'm going to go ahead and get Mandy's hair out of the way. And so we've worked our way around that shoulder. I'm going to get into this upper trap a little bit more, going into the neck. So what you want to do is just keep a consistent pressure as you're bringing the thumbs up towards the base of the skull. So you're just going to follow that muscle all the way up to the base of the skull. You can do this a few times. Really just feeling the spine, the vertebrae in between your thumbs, and it's the muscle right alongside that you're pressing, and being aware of your thumbs. So now that we've worked on those upper back muscles, warm them up some, we're gonna get into the neck in a more detailed way. So I really like to work on people face up. You can work on people face down too. A lot of people feel more comfortable with that anyway. So this is one way to do it. So, headaches, a lot of it is just poor circulation. You're not getting enough blood to your head. It can be not drinking enough water, just not being hydrated enough. So just keep that in mind. If you're having headaches, drink a lot of water. So I am going to focus on that upper trap a little bit more. So again, just watching how I'm using my thumb and keeping my thumb straight as I work my way up that upper trap muscle. And just using a consistent pressure, really getting that muscle fiber to stretch underneath my thumb. So finally, you can actually use if you're using your right hand to massage, you can use your left hand to remind Mandy to keep her shoulder to move down and away from her ear. And you can also use it to stretch that muscle along with the right hand. So right now, I'm going to focus more on Mandy's scalene muscles. So these muscles support the head on the side. So there's actually 3 of them, and I'm just going to find my way into one at a time. So just again, using consistent pressure and really getting in there. Is that pressure okay, Mandy? So another thing that you can do is when you feel underneath your thumb, when you feel a lot of tightness, you can hold it there and start to do some trigger point. So you can just hold it. And basic rule of thumb, hold there for about 10 seconds. And then just continue to move up the neck. So yeah, her scalenes are definitely pretty tight. I'm not surprised she's been getting headaches. So you can really take your time. And just a little bit more in the scalene. And again, I'm starting to hunch over, so check yourself, make sure you're not just hunching over completely. All right, so we've worked on that upper trap, those scalenes. My favorite muscle group to work on when someone's complaining of headaches is the occipitals. So this occipital ridge here is just such a good place to go to if someone is complaining of headaches. So I, again, like to work on the occipitals when someone's face up. You can also do it face down. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your thumb and you're going to start right by the ear. So it's basically where the head meets the neck, where the base of the skull meets the neck. So that's the occipital ridge. So you're just going to start to press and you're going to feel some tightness. And you're just going to work your way around the base of the skull. So when you feel a spot that is particularly tight, you can just hold it there for a few extra minutes. And I like to do just the smallest circles with my thumb. So the occipitals, when they're tight, they can be really uncomfortable for the person that you're working on. So if you just dig your thumb in and don't do anything, it can be a little intense. So I like to do just the smallest movement with my thumb, really getting the blood in there more, improving circulation. And usually it's this place almost right in the center of the neck that gets the tightest. So really just pressing, doing those little circles. And you can work your way from the ear up to the center of the neck again if it feels tight enough. If you got the release that you were wanting, then you can just move on to the next thing. So for time's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to some scalp massage. Definitely, if you're working on someone, you always want to balance the right and left side. Whatever you do on the right, do on the left. If someone has chronic neck tightness on their left side, I always work on the right side too. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the scalp for time's sake. So there's a ton of nerve endings in your scalp. So just by stimulating the scalp, you're, calming the nervous system, you're improving circulation in the head. So basically, you're going to use all of your fingers, and don't be afraid to use pressure here. So again, don't let yourself just collapse forward. I have a bad habit of doing that sometimes. So really feeling relaxed in your body and grounded in your feet. So you're just going to do little circles, just stimulating those nerve endings. Usually feels really good. And I like to do this face up too. But you can definitely do it face down. You want to be sure that when you're doing it this way, you're not putting too much weight. You're not pressing down too much, because you can smush the person's face in a way that's not very comfortable. So really focus on the side of the skull, just doing little circles with your fingers, with your hands. And remember to breathe. And I like to work all the way up to the top of the head. And really take your time with this. Just little circles. And, just use your sensitivity. You don't want to pull Mandy's hair. So just trust what you're feeling. And that is a great routine to do for someone that's having headaches, and it should definitely help improve circulation and make that person feel better. I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked this video, please like or subscribe, and if you're interested in booking a session with me, you can find me at Lifetime Spines, and you'll find a link below. So yeah, I would love to work with you and help you with whatever your issues are. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.